Well, 17 million tourists that have left the UK say that they've encountered animal exploitation and cruelty, and 1 in 10 are saying it's ruined their holiday. Worst country, probably because of its geographical proximity, is Spain. And there we're still seeing wild animals, tigers, lions, elephants being used in circuses. There are still dolphinaria there, something that we've got rid of a long time ago in the UK. And then there are lots of people saying that there are monkeys and apes on the beach being used for selfies, clearly not being kept in the best of conditions. And then lastly, in many cities now, not just in Spain, but of course all around the world, you can take horse and carriage rides around the city. And we hear a lot of the time that the horses have poor hooves on the tarmac all of that time, plus the fact that they're dehydrated, not enough shade, so on and so forth. And if you travel further afield, the second and third worst countries were India and Thailand, and there it's elephant rides, chimpanzees riding motorcycles, all of those sorts of things.
So what's the advice then to holidaymakers? Because obviously they see these things. What are the do's and the don'ts?
Well, use your judgment. Frankly, if it's not allowed in the UK because we've outlawed it, like wild animals in circuses and dolphinaria, then don't do it overseas. That's the first thing. Think about the animals. Use a bit of common sense. It's pretty easy to see if some of them are in distress, and if they are, certainly don't pay any money. The power of the pound, or whatever you've transferred it into, is a very powerful tool when it comes to economic protest. But what we'd also like you to do is to record what you see and let us know at animalsasia.org. And we're collecting a database there, because what many people don't know was that the former government brought in a piece of legislation that would make it illegal for UK tour operators to offer tickets in advance to places where there was poor standards of animal welfare. Now, that law came in last year. The trouble with it is, as it stands at the moment, it lacks detail. So what we're trying to do now is get as much data as possible so we can go back to the new government to get this law fleshed out, so that tour operators can be assured of the fact that when they are promoting attractions overseas to people, they don't involve exploitation and cruelty to animals.
And I guess that's it, isn't it? We can all make a difference. Listen, while we've got you here, I just want to ask you about that sentencing of the 5 Just Stop Oil activists that were handed historically lengthy jail sentences for blocking the M25 in 2022. I mean, what do you make of it all?
Well, I'm very worried about that because these happen to be climate activists. But what we have to remember, Danny, is that the laws that are in place are not focused just upon climate activism. They are there to repress any type of free democratic protest. So at the moment, it's climate activists that are getting put into prison for 4 or 5 years. That could be gender rights. It could be the right to strike. It could be access to healthcare. At any point in the future, if we want to take to the streets to enact our democratic right to freely and peacefully protest, then we could be clamped down upon. So this is a set of laws and action by the judiciary which has far wider reaching consequences.
And I guess most people would say we all have the right to protest, but they would question the tactics. So sometimes blocking ambulances, surely that can't be right.
Well, look, there are 3 M's involved in a good protest. There's motivation. I don't think we can disagree that Just Stop Oil are well motivated. They listen to the science. They are scared for their future and ours, and they want to do something about it. That's their motivation. Then there's the method. That's what's in question. And previously, we've seen them throwing soup over valuable paintings, cornstarch over Stonehenge, and blocking the roads, as you say. These things all get media attention. Our job, however, is to make sure that we're not speaking about the method all the time, but that critical message, and that is that we're living in a time of significant imperilment when it comes to our planet and our species, and we have to effect changes. That's just simply what Just Stop Oil want.